your biggest culture shock when you moved here?
My first culture shock once I got to the airport was number of white people.
Okay.
I remember that I was like walking to this train station. I was crying, and like no one like checked me and be like, "Are you alright?" And I was like, "I'm alone here." Like
I just moved in between the police officers, and you know when you actually walk past them, then your brain clicked to you that, girl, you just fucked up behind.
It was actually shocking. Like, I didn't expect like a building in the Netherlands to fail building standards.
the hardest thing for me was definitely like how people don't look in the eye. That's just like back in Brazil, I would go to the train and I would be like, "Oh, I like your bag," and then you would start having a conversation with someone, and then like would tell you all your problems and traumas, and the person would tell other traumas, and then it was just so easy to make friends. It was just like, "Oh, I met this girl in the train, and she's my best friend now." And here it was a bit different, a bit harder. I remember a moment that like my dog died in Brazil. Like this is 6 years ago, so I'm already healed, so it's fine to talk about it. So I remember that I was like walking to this train station. I was crying, and like no one like checked me and be like, "Are you alright?" And I was like, "I'm alone here. Like I have no one that cares about me." And this was a bit shocking, but at the same time, nowadays I see that I'm more and more like closed, and I love like having me time. And like I'm in the train, I'm not looking at anyone. I'm not talking to anyone. I'm like looking at my phone. I'm doing something, and I like a little bit. I'm becoming like this. It's really crazy. And then when I'm in Brazil, I'm like, yeah, like I don't want to be talking with people in public. So yeah, this is something that I was like very shocked, and it was very hard for me. But now I'm like, I get it.
In Nigeria, you pay rent at the end of the year. So all year you can up on a tree, you fly. If you like, don't go to work for 8 months. It's nobody's business. Come 1 year cycle, it's time for rent. You pay, and that's the end. And then 365 days to look for where the money goes. But here, every month, so you must find a way every month to bring that. So yeah, and I didn't come all the way here to be homeless, man. Nah.
My first culture shock once I got to the airport was number of white people.
Okay.
Sure, because coming from Nigeria, I wasn't used to seeing a lot of white people, so it was like, oh my god. So one thing that was actually surprising for me was how the grocery stores here work. So they have like specialized stores. So like this store, they sell groceries. Then if you want to get like home appliances, you have to go to that store. From where I come from, we have like all purpose stores where you just walk into a supermarket and you can find everything you need at one stop. So yeah, that was something that I had to get used to.
No, seriously, like I got off at the airport and I had checked, obviously, because I like checking things a lot. I had checked before coming, like what's the weather this week, and it's like 8 degrees, and I'm like, that's not so bad. But like I stepped out of the airport, no jokes, and like the wind hit me and I'm like, oh fuck. And that's just it. I think the wind was very like shocking because like it's windy sometimes, but like this is another level. It's like it's open me. Like I don't weigh that much, and I can feel myself struggling to wow. That's like, what am I? It's funny. So the wind, the food as well, but I can't even say the food because what is Dutch food? There's nothing, you know. Bitterballen, oliebollen, something bollen. It's just deep fried snacks.
Yeah.
But I would say it took me a while to get used to European snacks in general, and European food in general.
Okay.
Cause yeah, it's very much different from Nigerian food, and I don't even like Nigerian food that much.
It was actually shocking. Like I didn't expect like a building in the Netherlands to fail building standards. I think it's like feeling like you're moving to this first world country where everything needs to work and everything needs to be perfect. And then you get here and you realize that actually, no, everything is not perfect. There is like flaws. And I think one of the biggest ones was like when our building caught fire and like a flaw in like how there was like holes and stuff, and how the whole thing was pretty much like handled was really like not great. People still don't have closure. We were just fortunate that we didn't lose a lot of our stuff. But if we were in the position of like where we have lost all of our stuff and everything, that would have been difficult. Like the power that you have here to like sue, to get and things like that, lawyers and stuff feels like it's non-existent. It feels like if something bad like that happens to you, you're on your own.
Oh,
And you must just like
get back.
figure it out. And you don't have that power to, because like the Dutch law really protects real estate companies and really protects corporates.
But not the tenants and
Yeah, but not so much the tenants. They'll tell you like you should have gotten insurance, but even if you got insurance, you don't. Not everybody gets comprehensive insurance because you don't really plan like my house is gonna catch fire.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't own, especially if you're renting, right? You just get like a standard insurance package that might replace your stuff, but it will be still difficult to replace like stuff of high sentiment and everything.
I honestly don't feel like I've experienced a culture shock.
really.
I feel like since everyone speaks such good English and I don't know, the way people interact with each other is pretty similar to what I'm used to at home.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, it's not too different. Same, there's the same.
Oh, really? I thought you have muscle in there.
No, I'm from Seattle, and so it's very rainy and cloudy. It feels about the same.
Okay. Did you have any culture shock?
I've never lived in a city before coming here.
Okay.
Well, I think that was, like in a very urban area versus where I'm from back home.
I think the first culture shock would be when I just landed at Schiphol Airport. And then I had my friend come to pick me up at the airport. And while I was dragging my trolley, I literally went in between police officers. Bruh, I was tired. I had a flight from Nigeria to Dubai to Amsterdam. Could have had direct flight, but the turnover, my head was not banging. So at that point, I just wanted to go straight. And then I just moved in between the police officers. And when you actually walk past them, then your brain clicked to you that, girl, you just fucked up behind. Sorry for the effort. Girl, you just messed up. And I looked back and I realized that they were actually police officers. I literally walked in between them. They were having conversations, right? And then they just smiled at me and they just, mommy, I was like, oh, wow, I really saw Nigeria. Do you know my age? Yeah, you don't respect the police.